The notification pinged on my phone while I was rearranging a rack of vintage Levi's in my thrift shop Second Chances. The text was from Jake, my boyfriend of 6 years. I'm out. Moving to Vegas with Tara. Took what's mine from the account. Good luck, Sarah. No emojis, no apologies, just cold, digital betrayal. I stood there, surrounded by the smell of patchouli and old leather, my hands steady as I slid a denim jacket onto a hanger. A customer, a sweet grandma type, asked if I had any cardigans in teal. I smiled, pointed her to the back, and didn't miss a beat. The only clue my world had just been drop-kicked was the slight clench of my jaw, like I was chewing on the audacity of it all. My name's Sarah, I'm 34, and I just got ghosted by the man I thought I'd marry. But while Jake was probably popping champagne with Tara, his 22-year-old soulmate from the dive bar where he DJ'd, I was already 3 steps ahead. The signs had been neon for months: his sudden obsession with crypto trading apps, the way he'd lock his phone like it was Fort Knox, the cologne he started wearing that smelled like a midlife crisis in a bottle. 6 weeks ago, I'd caught a Venmo payment to Tara Baby for drinks. That same night, I opened a new savings account at a credit union across town. When Jake suggested streamlining our finances last month, I played along, transferring just enough to our joint account to keep him from sniffing around. The rest, safely stashed, along with screenshots of every sketchy transaction he'd made since he started working late. I locked up Second Chances at 7 p.m., the neon open sign flickering as I flipped it off. My shop wasn't just a business, it was my heart, built from years of scouring estate sales and flea markets, turning forgotten treasures into curated vibes. Jake called it my cute little hobby, but it paid our rent while his DJ gigs barely covered his bar tabs. As I walked to my apartment, thank God, since I'd never added him to the lease, despite his whining, I dialed my lawyer, Mia. He pulled the plug, I said, my voice calm as a sunny day. Texted me he's leaving and drained the account. Mia, who I'd consulted after finding a hotel receipt in Jake's jeans 2 months back, didn't miss a beat. Papers are ready, I'll file tomorrow. You want him served in Vegas? Nah, I said, smirking as I unlocked my door. Let him think he's living his best life first. Another text from Jake buzzed in. Don't freak out, Sarah. Tara gets me in ways you never did. You'll be fine. Second Chances will keep you busy. You're not getting any younger, LOL. I snorted. The dude had the nerve to LOL while torching our life. I screenshotted it, adding it to my digital dossier. Let him keep typing his own news. Inside, I poured a glass of rosé, none of that cheap stuff Jake liked, and sat on my couch, surrounded by thrifted art and plants I'd kept alive longer than our relationship. The apartment was mine, inherited from my aunt, who'd always said, Sarah, never let a man own your castle. Smart woman. Jake had pushed to get his name on the deed, but I dodged it, citing tax complications. Another gut instinct that paid off. My phone lit up again. Tara and I used the joint card for our flights. Consider it my goodbye gift. Oh, Jake, you sweet, clueless idiot. I called the credit card company. Hi, this is Sarah Thompson. I need to report unauthorized charges and remove an authorized user. The rep, a guy named Carlos, sounded almost gleeful as I forwarded Jake's text admitting to the charges. 2 first-class tickets to Vegas and a suite at the Bellagio? Cancelled. Jake and Tara would land tomorrow to find their dream trip DOA. I leaned back, sipping my wine, and thought about Jake's smug face when he sent that text. He probably pictured me sobbing, begging him to stay, while he and Tara clinked glasses in some tacky casino. Instead, I was planning. Second Chances wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. Last month, I'd started an online store, and my curated vintage pieces were selling faster than I could list them. Jake's cute little hobby was outpacing his crypto scams by a mile. The next morning, my phone blew up with texts from Jake, each one more unhinged than the last. "What the hell, Sarah? The tickets aren't working. The hotel canceled our room. Answer me, you petty bitch." I silenced his number and headed to Second Chances. Saturdays were chaos. Hipsters hunting for retro tees, moms looking for deals, influencers snapping pics for their sustainable fashion posts. I loved every second of it. While I helped a college kid find a perfect Nirvana flannel, my phone vibrated with a call from Jake's sister, Emily. "Sarah, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice shaky. "Jake told us you were controlling, that you pushed him away, but then he bragged about taking your money. I had no idea he was like this." I put her on speaker while I priced a stack of vinyl records. "Did he mention using our card for his Vegas getaway with Tara?" Silence then. "Number." "God, he's such a tool." Mom's furious. She saw his texts. "He's been crashing at Tara's place, but her roommates are over it." I chuckled, imagining Jake, 36, squatting in a cramped apartment with a bunch of Gen Zers. "Thanks for the call, Em, but my lawyer's handling it. Gotta keep it chill with Jake's family for now." By noon, Mia texted, "Emergency hearing set for Monday." Jake's texts are gold. Judge will eat this up. Tara's Insta stories are a bonus. She's posting about their Vegas adventure and shading you. I checked Tara's profile. Sure enough, there she was, pouting in a crop top, captioning a selfie. "Haters gonna hate, but we're living our truth." I rolled my eyes. Living their truth in a budget motel, apparently, since their Bellagio dreams were dust. That night, I hosted a pop-up event at Second Chances, showcasing a collection of thrifted designer pieces. The place was packed. Local bloggers, small business owners, even a few TikTokers filming day-in-the-life vlogs. A woman in her 50s, buying a Chanel blazer, leaned in. "Heard about your ex. Men like that think they can break you, but you're out here slaying." I grinned, just keeping it 100. Monday's hearing was a masterclass in karma. Jake showed up in a knockoff Gucci shirt, his hair gelled like he was auditioning for a boy band. Tara wasn't there. Word was she'd bailed after their motel fiasco. Mia laid out our case, Jake's texts admitting to draining the account, the fraudulent charges, 6 months of shady Venmo payments. I'd tracked every dime from his business dinners to his crypto investments that never materialized. Jake's lawyer, some budget Saul Goodman, tried to spin it. My client made impulsive choices, but Ms. Thompson's actions, canceling cards, freezing accounts, were vindictive. Mia didn't blink. Prudent, not vindictive, Sarah protected her assets while Jake committed financial fraud. She slid the judge my screenshots, including Jake's goodbye gift text. The judge, a woman who looked like she'd heard every sob story in the book, peered at Jake. "You texted your girlfriend about taking joint funds and mocked Ms. Thompson's age. Now you're claiming rights to her business, which records show she built alone." Jake mumbled something about emotional support for second chances. The judge wasn't having it. Emotional support doesn't entitle you to assets Ms. Thompson kept separate. All joint accounts are frozen. You'll repay what you took within 48 hours. "I spent it," Jake blurted, then shrank under the judge's glare. "Then I suggest you get creative," she snapped. "And Mr. Thompson using shared cards for your escapades? Not a good look." I left the courthouse, my docs clicking on the tile, feeling like Beyoncé after dropping Lemonade. Jake thought he'd write my ending, but I was scripting my own blockbuster. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Second chances exploded, partly because of the gossip, partly because people love a comeback story. Women started showing up just to high-five me, buying statement pieces while sharing their own tales of shady exes. My husband tried that too, one said, snagging a vintage Dior bag. Thought he could take half my bakery. Joke's on him. I had receipts. Jake, meanwhile, was spiraling. Emily texted that he'd maxed out his personal cards, and Tara had kicked him out after he tried to borrow her rent money. His DJ gigs dried up. Turns out, club owners don't vibe with guys who ghost their partners. He even tried hitting up mutual friends for cash, spinning a sob story about how I'd ruined him. They sent me screenshots, and I forwarded them to Mia. "Keep digging, buddy." My lawyer called with updates. Jake's claiming he inspired second chances, says he deserves a cut. He's got no proof and your records are airtight. Also, Tara's posting about toxic exes now. Guess who's single again? I laughed, thinking of Jake, alone in some dive bar, still chasing his big break. He'd quoted Kanye once, saying he was ahead of his time. More like stuck in 2005. 3 months post-hearing, I opened a second chances location in a trendy arts district. The grand opening was lit, live music, free mimosas, a line out the door. A local paper ran a feature, not about Jake's betrayal, but about how I'd turned a thrift shop into a vibe. Sarah Thompson's Second Chances isn't just a store, the article read. It's a movement for women reclaiming their power. Jake's mom called that week, her voice heavy. "I raised him better, Sarah. He's living in a friend's basement, still blaming you. I saw your new store. It's beautiful. I'm so sorry." I kept it polite but distant. "Appreciate that, Linda, but I'm focused on what's next." Her guilt wasn't my burden. 6 months later, Second Chances was a full-on brand. I launched a YouTube channel, posting thrifting tips and how to spot a vintage gem vids. My subscriber count climbed and brands started sliding into my DMs for collabs. Jake, per Emily, was working part-time at a vape shop, still posting cringy TikToks about hustling. His bio read young at heart, but his comments were brutal. "Bro, you fumbled a queen." Oof. At a business conference the next year, I spoke on a panel about protecting your hustle. A woman in the audience asked, "My fiancé wants to merge our finances, but my gut's screaming no. Am I paranoid?" I leaned into the mic. "My ex called me paranoid too, right before he tried to tank my business. Trust your gut. Paranoia's just intuition with receipts." The crowd erupted, and I caught my reflection in a glass door, grinning, confident, a far cry from the woman who'd read Jake's text a year ago. Second Chances wasn't just my shop, it was my proof that you can take a hit and still build an empire. Jake thought he'd break me, but all he did was light the match. 2 years out, I got an email from Jake. No subject line, just, "I messed up, Sarah. I see what you built, and I'm proud, even if you hate me. Can we talk?" I archived it without replying. Let him marinate in his regrets. My phone buzzed with a notification, another order from the Second Chances site. I smiled, thinking of the framed screenshot in my office, Jake's good luck text, now a relic of the day I chose myself. As I prepped for the 3rd anniversary of Second Chances, a customer, a young woman with pink hair, bought a thrifted YSL jacket. "Your goals," she said. "My ex tried to dim my shine, but I'm out here glowing because of you." I handed her the bag, my logo bold on the side. "Keep shining, sis. The best revenge is winning."